Hello, and welcome to Masquerade Breach, Season 3, Episode 4, finally, Fright Night Remake. My name's
The
Blazewing.
electric.
I am Catherine Cosplays, otherwise known as Krisha.
I am Marley.
Yes! And I am Oceanus Veritas, also known as Cam.
We're talking about the Fright Night Remake today. So, let's chat. What did we think? What stood out? Like, what are we going to chat about first thing?
How amazing it was, because I was questioning. I did not know how I was going to feel, because I am a huge fan of the first one. Like, oh my gosh. And I was like, yay! And then this one starts, and I was like, oh, yeah. It's so good. And it wasn't like trying to replicate too much. It had its own little things here and there that you could be like, oh, I could watch this separately and not be like, oh, they're trying too hard. No, it was good. It was so good. So good.
Anyone else?
It was something else. I never thought I would see so much nostalgia, and yet in such a different way that it makes it its own movie.
It paid homage, but it also stood on its own 2 feet.
This movie for me, like, I normally have issues with remakes. Remakes usually don't hit right in a lot of places. They feel off. They feel like cheap knockoffs. This did not have that feeling for me. This was a remake that I will actually put on my shelf. I think this, for me, is going to be one that I'm going to remember for a good long time. Something that I'm actually going to look back very fondly on. And the fact that they got the original Jerry in the movie, for me, absolutely blows my mind.
Yeah, that entire thing, like, the first way through, I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about the whole just driving to escape thing, because some movies, they really get it, like they do a good chase scene and you're like, yeah, right. And other ones you're like, we're just driving. Are we away from them yet? What is happening? This is just filler. But the way they brought in the original Jerry into that scene, like, completely made it for me. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, it was so fun. Especially since, like, oh man, they're about to have this cool fight happening. It was like the mid fight before the big fight before the really big fight, because they already had the little fight. And you're just like, they just have, like, instead of having breaks for different things in the movie, they just have a fight break. Every little while they have a little fight break.
I'm not quite ready to get into favorites, worst and favorite scenes yet. Something that sticks out for me with this movie, though, was that final moment at the end of the movie where he lights Jerry on fire. Jerry bursts into flame, goes up in smoke, and they're like shaking him, they're shaking this kid, trying to get him awake. He just looks up at his girlfriend, at his soon-to-be girlfriend. He's like, hey. Like, fucking smooth as shit, man.
Like, I was on fire. Now I'm not. Hey.
That's a fucking baller move. Like, goddamn smooth as shit.
It's like his Riz just leveled up.
And Jerry lighting the house on fire through use of the gas line outside, like, that's just pure fucking evil. You see that smile as he walks away from the house, like, he's like, good job. You got your wits about you. You're going to be an actual challenge. Excuse me while I just rip up your yard and grab that gas line and set the house on fire. We pan to a shot of it later. It's just like fucking half charred.
I love the line right afterwards. Don't need permission if there's no house.
I just like this movie is another perfect example of a remake done right. Like, I will always quote the best remake I've ever seen was the live action Cinderella movie in 2015, I believe, where it paid homage, but it stood on its own 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
This, again, was that moment. It was like they paid homage. Like, I loved how at the end she was in the white dress.
Mm-hmm. Marley,
I love how
Marley actually had a point that ties back into that directly. We'll get into that in just a sec. Finish your thought.
But I said this earlier today, and I will always say this: there is nothing more dangerous than an immortal who gets bored.
Yep.
Because that's essentially what Jerry is. We know that he's lived, like, we know nothing about his backstory. The only thing we know from the first movie is that he has lived a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
He has gone to place
400
like
years.
some of the artifacts that are like around his bedroom. Like, he has gone from place to place to place. Like, when he gets when Charlie actually gets him, and he's like, damn, he's excited, he's happy, like, finally a fucking challenge, like, he's ecstatic, like, yes, like, so there is, like, he's just bored.
Yep.
He's this all-powerful immortal that's bored, like, and it's so cool to see, and I loved this version of Jerry. Very different from Fright Night, the earlier Fright Night. Very different, but still, like, very suave, very just cool. Like, genuinely just cool. I loved it.
Marley had a point she brought up earlier, a connection she made. You want to share with the class?
Yeah, it took me watching it twice for this moment to click correctly. But when they're in the basement and they're doing their little standoff fight thing, you see the girlfriend there with Jerry, and he does the cut himself here, and then she drinks. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's like my favorite scene. And it took me forever to realize that that's what it was. And I was like, oh, I feel kind of silly now. I should have said caught on the first time. And I was like, oh my gosh. But it's true. That's exactly it, though. And it had the same feel to it. Like, the scene itself had the same feel that you get when you watch Bram Stoker's Dracula. Like, that moment where they are just connected.
Not just that. There was another moment that was a direct reference to Bram Stoker's Dracula. When Charlie falls into the room with his girlfriend, and she is, like, on top of him trying to seduce him, the way she moves is also a direct reference. The way she's dressed, the way she's moved, the way he's reacting. Like, it's all a direct reference. And I love that so much. Ocean?
Can I just say something?
Yes.
Who else is glad that he didn't seduce a teenager? That she was made into, like, a ghoul first with the blood and then turned. I'm so glad he didn't seduce a teenage girl. I'm so happy. I legitimately was just like, oh, okay. All right, cool. This is better.
Okay, but his seduction techniques are top notch. As a dark romance smutty reader, his house with the hallway and then what happened at the club, and you're just like, and I'm like, yep, this is how my book ends. I am not going home.
Into club, we all fam.
I want to be in the club.
Ocean?
Into the
So-
club.
So there is something there that actually I'm glad that they didn't show it, but they did mention kind of how the vampirism actually violates. And why I'm bringing this up is because of a line that she says while on top of him. He's inside me. That line right there depicts that she's been violated by him, by Jerry. And the thought that she is corrupted by this vampire sends a message that not only is this uh an important understanding. He may not have had, he may not have seduced her, but the violation was still there. And I think that depiction of it was perfect. It made sense. You understood what she meant when she said that line. The understanding of what that girl went through, very similarly to his former best friend that he got rid of, that he eventually had to, unalive. He said the same thing. You let him get to me. You let him hurt me, violate me, destroy me. That in itself is enough of an understanding that this is something big. That the gravity of the situation is that he could have stopped this, but he didn't.
We also got our vampire baptism with this in the pool. And Charlie's best friend, like Charlie's childhood friend, his last moment was to comfort his friend who literally just killed him.
Yeah.
His last words were, "It's okay, Charlie. Like, it's okay." And then he fucking ashes.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
That's always just like that, because it was that like final, like that little moment of clarity, that tiny moment of clarity where he like comes back to himself and he's like, it's okay, like he understands. Like same thing, like it's being enthralled. What is the word I'm looking for? Like in the spell of it, and like definitely the girl enraptured, yeah. And then finally that moment of clarity where he's like, oh, like this shit is happening. Like it's it was so cool. This was so much darker.
Mm-hmm.
This felt darker and grittier, and I loved it.
Also, not my favorite scene in the movie, but the moment David Tennant was revealed is the moment the energy of the entire fucking movie changed. The first like part of the movie, it was slow. It was very slow to start, and then David Tennant is shown on screen. Like he's revealed as he's taken off his fucking makeup and his fucking fake facial hair and all of that shit. Instant change. But not just that, David Tennant scratching his balls and leather pants trying to get rid of a fucking rash is something I will take with me to my grave. That was great. Fucking Chiefs, man. Like fucking spread eagle in the chair. That was a sight.
Absolutely.
Oh, it was. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go. No. You go ahead.
And so it was the first part of it was super awkward.
Mm-hmm.
It was until you get that moment where David Tennant and his just on-screen charisma for any character he plays anyway, but the way he was so all in and just so over the top, like until then it was one of those where you're just like, do I really want to finish this movie? Because I love Jerry, but he was getting really awkward there for a bit, and it was getting cringy. And that moment when he knocked on the door and asked for the drinks,
The beer.
trying to use the cool lingo and stuff like that, and it just the way he was talking was so bad. Like, I had secondhand embarrassment on his behalf, and I'm not in the movie.
Yeah, but say what you want. That actor, beautiful.
He was so
Yeah.
he played the seductor. He played he did the seducing. He did the fighting. He did the anger. He did the revenge. Like, he hit all of it, and the fact that he could also throw in cringe was good too.
So I want to say that is by design. I think that comes down to a vampire learning through various means of interaction, through exposure, really, of what works, what doesn't work. And if you've been around a vampire that is out of touch, you can tell when a vampire is out of touch of modern time. So him doing that, I think, is his adaptation that's being showcased there. That while, yes, it's cringy at first, it gets better and more.
It just feels like that moment where you're like, hello, fellow children.
Right. And it is. It absolutely is. Kind of like with his whole seduction of the mother. When he first appears, when he first shows up, and he's helping her with the yard or whatnot, he's awkward as fuck in that scene. But she's all for it. The kids are not. And he noticed it. And that's why there was those long pauses that worked for the mother, but not the kids. And he noticed it. And if he's going to be a true predator, a vampire in that scene, he has to adapt. He has to learn. And of course, so him doing the cold, and I put this out there, the cold familiarity with Charlie, in the way that he approaches, going, so I heard that your dad left you. She didn't say so, but I get that vibe, that kind of thing. Where it's a way to resonate with Charlie, and he's really trying. And the whole point is by that point, there's already suspicion. Like, he didn't have suspicion up until he saw the video that his best friend had taken of Jerry not showing up on the camera. He already had suspicion, but that scene, that interaction was enough of an understanding to really solidify how a vampire's mind works in adaptation as, say, like a tiger to a foreign prey. And you see this with tigers as well. They will mimic the prey's noises in order to hunt. And that's exactly the same thing with Jerry. Jerry's mimicking human emotion, human interaction. He's bored as shit, you're right. But more importantly, he's also trying to adapt to survive.
I think the character really came out once he accepted his need to hunt. As soon as he accepted and had that challenge and he had that target, that was when Jerry really became the vampire we were expecting.
So
I don't, because like I feel like there are some maybe like in a previous town being like the like quiet recluse. Like, I feel like sometime I don't think it was played correctly, because when I saw that I was like, oh, he's trying to like seem like the quiet recluse, so someone will be like, oh, we should invite him over, like he doesn't have anybody, like he's like the quiet one, let's bring him in. That's how I read it. I think this actor did a fantastic job not going over the top with being a vampire, because it is such a fine line, and he did it very well. And I was like, I thought as a predator, as that kind of predator, he did a great job.
Absolutely.
So, with that, let's delve into worst scenes for the movie. What do you guys have? Let's start with Marley.
I'm sticking with the drink scene because that hurt me. That hurt me on a level that I'm still embarrassed. I'm still embarrassed.
Krisha?
The entire beginning, it was so awkward. Like, it was so awkward. And the beginning was set up like a 2000s rom-com until we get to when they are literally doing a B&E on a crime scene, and then they decide to have their little friend fight at a crime scene. They are breaking and entering. And the entire time I was just freaking out to myself because I was like, it's either Jerry or the cops. It's either Jerry or the cops. It's Jerry or the cops. And also, they have their flashlights like, a neighbor is gonna see you and call the cops, you idiots! Oh my god, I was so stressed out because I was like, they're gonna get arrested. They're gonna get arrested, and then Jerry's gonna eat them in jail. Like, that is the stress. Like, the entire beginning, it was so awkward. I really think I think after the beers scene, I think that's when it really started going, because it was starting, but like, damn.
Ocean?
So, okay. I agree.
Bring the mic a little
100%.
closer to your mouth there, bud.
Oh, hold on. Is that better?
I think so.
Okay. So, there's a couple of things about this movie that just kind of just red lines on the ugh. And that is, so the beginning of the movie was very similar to the beginning of the original. You know, that you got the caption of Vincent Price, you've got the little tidbit that someone had been trying to bite someone. And you're almost going, okay, so now we're getting to where the two lovebirds are. Instead, you get the first victim, or the second victim, I guess. The second victim that ends up with their parents dead, and he ends up dead, and then you eventually figure it out. But yeah, the awkwardness of Jerry who's come into the neighborhood, is not in the morning or even in the daylight, and only shows up at night. This is not weird. No. It is so fucking awkward, and the way that Jerry depicts, and can we just talk about just how 2000, the early 2000s, 2010s, the special effects are. It near pulled me out of the movie itself, watching it and going, ooh, they went with that. Ooh, okay. Ooh. So I've got Jerry's interaction with the mom was kind of creepy. The prolonged eye contact, dun was the biggest cringy part that I could take away. And on top of that, somehow connected puce with the color of the kid's shoes, Charlie's shoes. Puce. Like, that is the worst word to describe a color. Understandably, it's a color, but him trying to connect with the kid by mentioning puce was so... Why? And then it's like, oh, you play the sports ball? You play the sports ball? Oh, you don't play the sports ball. Oh, I do play the sports ball. The fuck?
From
I'm sorry, it just kind of no, cringe, bad scenes.
for me, the worst scene in the entire movie is the one where Charlie's mom walks into his room and she's like, it's like that castle from fucking what was it, Dark Shadows, and he's like, yeah, it's a thing for my girlfriend, right? And he walks downstairs, fucking steak in his hand after the doorbell rings, and she's standing there. She's not letting him off the hook. He's just incredibly awkward. I got fucking secondhand fucking embarrassment from that shit. Like, that is a level of fucking cringe, man. That just, god damn. Other than that, there's no real scene that sticks out to me, so to speak. Sure, the beginning was slow. It was almost putting me to sleep, but when it picks up, it goes like balls to the wall.
Yeah.
So, let's go. Best scene. What was your favorite scene?
Ooh. I have to say, I have split favorites, but at least I can condense mine because my brain said so today. So, I really, really enjoy the way that Jerry does seduce, because many times in there's just these little clips, and it's the way that both of them are playing it. It's him and the woman, that you see it on their face, that there's terror, but there's also excitement. And the way that it happens, it really reaches in, and it makes it feel real. And that, and it's dark romance because, I said so. But also the ending, because fire, and the fact that he had like the whole suit, and he's just like, dude, fire, and he's just like, I'm gonna hug you now. And he's just like, and it was just my bear hug with fire.
The ending. Everything about the ending. Like, okay, it felt like they filmed this movie in order. That's how it felt to me. It felt like they filmed it in the order of the movie, of how they went through. So like the beginning was so awkward, like when actors first try to act with each other, but then slowly but surely it got better and better. The ending was amazing. It was amazing. I thought it was like the final action sequence was so cool. Um and they did, but unlike the previous Fright Night, people died at a normal pace. But like the ending fight scene, especially with the fire suit, was just so cool.
Ocean?
So mine has to be with the scene where they first meet Vincent Price. And you see just how he doesn't believe shit.
David Tennant
Even though
scratching his balls!
The fact that he's ripping off prop, face, face hair, and then he takes out the fake eyebrow ring, and flicks it at Charlie. That was a classic move. Like, it was like, this guy doesn't give two flying fucks about anything. He will say what's on his mind unfiltered, except for one thing. And this is where it gives more depth to Vincent Pierce than any other thing he could do. The fact that his genuine fear, not anger, not annoyance, fear, is when he figures out that Charlie's talking about something real. And that moment, you see him backing away. You don't see him going, "Get out of my house because you're crazy," even though that was his excuse. You could see the fear behind Pierce's eyes of why that was. It wasn't, and you could tell. You could tell immediately, just it was insane. And the way that it was beautifully acted out, the way that David Tennant can only do as David Tennant does, he can pull that duality of what looks like a mask that's right here. And you can see the true, I guess, his second skin almost of what is really his thought processes. And the fact that his was fear absolutely showed a truly magnificent scene. And that's why I believe that's my favorite scene.
Out of everything I could have picked from this movie, there is one scene that sticks out because it was beautifully done. Charlie sneaks up to the room, Charlie sneaking in through this house trying to find this girl that's been captured. Finds the back room, figures out which room she's in. Jerry comes home. Charlie hides. Jerry feeds off of this girl. Her immediate reaction, while she's being like drained, is to look him dead in the eyes and being like, "Don't say a fucking word. Don't say a fucking word." And Charlie has to stand there and watch. And then Jerry leaves. But before he leaves, he casts just a slight over the shoulder look. And then he keeps on going. Gets downstairs, turns on the TV. Charlie and the girl walk downstairs. Jerry goes to the fridge. They trail around the inside trying to duck him. Jerry's toying with him. You can tell he's toying with him because you get that moment where he just kind of looks over his shoulder and you get that fucking smirk. That goddamn fucking smirk on his face was done so well. And then he walks back, toys with him, and goes over to the counter and grabs an apple. In like the most asshole-ish way possible. Rolls it off the counter, fucking catches it, almost hitting the floor, and then goes back to the TV. Charlie and the girl walk outside. The way that she burst into ash and sinew in the moment she hit the sunlight, you just barely hear her scream. It's an instant reaction. She screams and then the scream fades off, like almost instantly. And he's inside the house. Jerry's inside the house grinning. Meanwhile, Charlie's standing there like, "What the fuck?" But she's gone, just completely eviscerated by the sun. And it didn't even like start slow. It was an instant thing. The moment she hit the sun, it was like somebody just fucking steamrolled right through her midsection.
Yeah.
I do like the ending. Very much. Like I said, that was a baller fucking move. I'm sorry. That was smooth as shit. Just, hey. Like, if I could figure out a way to do something like that, that would be the way I'd want to do it. Like, fucking kick-ass move and just sup. There was also a throwaway line. It's a two-parter throwaway line. The first, get me drunk enough, I'll try just about anything. Immediately followed up by, "I'm not drunk enough for this shit."
Yes. So perfect too. Oh my god.
Okay, so with that, sorry, I'll get off my soapbox here because I mean I could go on. I could pick scenes apart for hours and just be like, "This was good. This was well done. I loved this." And again, it was that like, is it really cheesy? Again, 2010's graphics, but it was done well. They were utilized well. They used them when they had to, when they couldn't figure out another way to do it. So, let's give it a rating. 1 to 5. What do you guys say? This is your chance to speak up. Let people know your final thoughts on this. Marley.
Okay. So, knowing I love the original, and knowing how I'm slightly obsessed with David Tennant, this one for me is one that I actually am ordering the DVD for because it is going in my collection. I love it. I love it. I will always recommend it. Like I said, I surprised myself by how much I loved it. I didn't think it was going to be that good, but they did two things different in this one from the first that really just solidified it for me. And that was letting Jerry be Jerry without having a human servant with him. Seeing that was a big deal for me. It was a really big deal. Yeah, his house was a bit dirtier though. But there was just so much more to his personality without someone there to buffer it. And seeing Vincent have that closure where you find out, because they added that story about how he, as a kid, had an experience that turns out to be Jerry. Like, those two things to me really solidified it. So this one is a 5 out of 5 because they upped their game on this.
Well done. Second 5 out of 5 for Marley this season.
I won't be so generous on the next one. I don't know what the next one is, though.
From Dusk Till Dawn. Hold your mouth on
Oh.
that.
Yeah, I'll hold my mouth on that.
Krisha.
I'm gonna have to give this one a 4. A 4 out of 5. I think that now I want to watch the original Fright Night again and like compare. But damn, this was like, it was a genuinely good movie. Like, in and of itself was genuinely a good movie. And like the way the homage, the quotes it had, like when that man put his entire, like, when he said Fright Night, for real, like that, the way he said it, it was like, it wasn't like over the top like Prince Humperdinck did, because like he's the king of the castle, so he like is gonna be very showy, but literally he was like, oh yeah, it's fucking happening. Like he was like, that was so, like, because Jerry knew it wasn't going to be a quick death for these two. He wanted to rip them apart, like shred by shred. So like, oh, it was just so deliciously dark. 4 out of 5.
Ocean.
So there's a couple of things about this movie that gives me this rating. First off, the prestige, the connection with the actors, with the character, and the characters to other characters, the interaction. And of course, there is the aspect of production and what they used and how they used it. This I give a 4 out of 5. And the reason being is, A, it doesn't have that gritty noir aspect that we know for a lot of vampire movies. The other thing is the cringe. The cringe was there, and it was bad. It was terrible. We all agree it was terrible. But it also makes for good camp. I mean, come on. If we're going to be real, it's campy as well. I think one of the things that really kind of gives it that 4 out of 5 that in a good light is the fact that Jerry doesn't have to go over the top like the first. Jerry can bring in the intensity by being where the chaos is and him being the eye of the storm, so to speak. That idea that, oh, you don't know, but I'm in full control. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's that intensity that I guess the inhumanity of that character based on the reaction of being where it should be in the energy of that character should be up here, but he's down here just level-headed and fucking a shark about it is truly what makes him, this Jerry, insanely more deadly, I guess is the best way to put it. He is a danger. He's the apex predator, and you are the shrimp that he's going to eat. And I think that puts to a poignant point of why I give it a 4 out of 5.
He could eat me.
That, like, I'm just gonna say it, that hardcore Dom energy, where you're instantly on your knees. You're like, oh yeah, just take all the blood. I'm good. I don't need it anyway. Like, just take it all. Like, that intensity, like, that to draw you in, like, damn. And that's the same thing of Prince Humperdinck in the first film. Also, Prince Humperdinck's name, the cameo he did, his character's name was JD. Those are the initials for Jerry. His last name starts with a D, so they literally called him JD.
Not Krisha just casually outing herself here on stream. Love it.
This is known! This is known!
This is the reason why it's called Masquerade Breach.
He can breach my Masquerade any day of the week, twice on Sundays. Hey, man.
Listen. I will purposely trip and fall while running. Okay, I will risk rolling my ankle just to be caught.
I do believe I said something the first go round of this was that Jerry and Vincent Price all on me. It's good. Yeah. Sandwich me. Yeah.
This movie had its cringe, and when it cringed fucking hard, man. Like, fucking hard. But when it got things right, it fucking nailed it to the wall, and it didn't leave you second guessing. For me, this movie's a 4. It was not a solid movie the entire way through, otherwise it probably would have been a 5. But the second half is why it's a 4. Because if the second half of the movie had continued like the first half, it would have easily been at like a 2.5 tops for me. But I'm also a massive fan of David Tennant. Never mind the fact that, he's come out with certain leanings lately that like he's come out in fucking spades, which kind of draw me into him as well.
Oh, can I honorable mention cringe?
Yeah.
Like, we know what he meant when he said your girlfriend, she is ripe. Like, he meant like the perfect like prey. But that's fucking gross.
Yep.
Why would you say that? Ew. That's gross. Ew.
Yep.
Don't speak. Ew.
Well, that's why she fell for the, hey.
Oh, when she kicked his ass in, like, the collection room, I was like, yes, Amy! Like, the Amy in this movie, I'm sorry, way better than the Amy in the original.
The weapons room, she's loading the gun with bullets. Instantly, like, right off the bat, there's silver bullets. She pulls out the gun, points it at Jerry, and fucking fires. And he's like, werewolves. Pulls the bullet out and throws it. She looks over, grabs the other thing on top of the shelf, vampires, and splashes the holy water in his face, instantly puts him down on the ground. Like, that's the way you do that. Like, that was, yeah. No, it's easily, this movie's a 4 for me. It is definitely a movie that will probably go on my shelf when I get my hands on it. This will be added to a list. Again, if anybody wants to throw cash, I'll probably have a wish list or something up. I don't fucking know. Just ask. But for me, this is going to be time honored. And I do think we have to go back and do the original Fright Night on account of I lost the original episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, we have to watch the original Fright Night again. Oh no.
You guys knew this. But no, I did lose the original. I did lose the original Fright Night episode. I was highly disappointed because I knew the remake was coming up, and I wanted to like give our initial opinions about it all together. I would like to redo the episode as well, to see kind of where we're sitting, and then maybe do a comparison of the two at the end, especially given like 80s special effects.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I want to point out is that this sequel, while it may have started slow and kind of cringy and going, oh, what they really do here, the fact that they pulled it through at the end and really kind of solidified it, there isn't a whole lot of sequels that I would say match the same energy. This did. This absolutely matched the same energy.
Not just that.
And
if I remember, it actually cut about an hour's worth of content out while doing that.
Yeah, it really did, and it made it better. I think in a lot of ways it went. You get Fright Night, and then you get Fright Night Electric Boogaloo or whatever. This remake didn't have the cheesy Electric Boogaloo that we all see. This redefined what a sequel is.
A remake?
And what a remake. What a remake is. This took the original, said, how can we make this better?
Yep.
And then it went, David Tennant.
The other thing, though, is that they didn't have a 20-minute turn into a werewolf / I'm still a vampire / let me just go already scene where you're just standing there going, yep, they're still screaming. Oh, yeah, they're still screaming. Yep.
Give me 1 sec. Let me grab that timer on my watch.
Let me fix man the helper. Let me order a pizza. Nope, they're still going. Pizza got here 30 minutes ago, and he's good. Okay, he's good.
When Mr. Goo Man was dying, and you just look, and the Vincent and the Charlie are just like holding on to each other like cartoons, like screaming. That was the funniest shit I've ever seen. They also, the Vincent in the original, you can clearly see where they gelled his hair and then sprayed it white. Mm-hmm. Like, it's such a bad job with his hair.
In the remake, did anybody catch Jerry's last moment? How closely did you look at Jerry's last moment?
I've seen it a million times, but you have to, get with me on this.
In the remake, when he's ashing, when he's on fire, and he's, dissolving into ash, look at his face. The look that he gives is absolute and utter peace. Acceptance, understanding. Finally, I can rest. Finally, it's over. I'm no longer struggling.
It's like how, because we know this with all vampires, with the best friend especially. It's that little moment of coming back to yourself, you're out of the spell, mm-hmm. And so his soul finally had a moment of thank God this is over.
Yep.
And that was beautiful.
He didn't cry, but he did smile with his eyes, and that damn near killed me when he died. I almost felt sorry for him, and then I'm like, dick. But
it does come to an understanding that for as long as he's been fighting, he's either been fighting and fearful of death, and now that it's finally come about that it's not going to, that he has no choice, he has to face it. I think it does give him kind of that breath of relief. And yeah, you're right. I did see that. I thought you were going to say, oh yeah, it looked like the original, with Vincent Price. Oh. I was like, I didn't see that.
On that note, folks, I think this is a good place to wrap up. I think we've had some solid discussion about this. For you guys listening, for you guys in the audience, let us know in the comments what you thought about this movie if you have a chance to see it. We want to hear your opinions. drop it. Let us know. Coming up for the rest of this season, we have Season 3, Episode 5, From Dusk Till Dawn. Season 3, Episode 6, Dracula Untold. Season 3, Episode 7, Blade. Season 3, Episode 8, Underworld. Episode 9 is Dracula. I think that was Dracula 2000. I really have to fix that. Episode 10, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Episode 11, The Hunger. And Episode 12, Marley.
Jesus Christ, Vampire Hunter.
The cringiest, shittiest looking vampire movie you've ever seen to date. Can't wait for it. It's going to be a good season.
But we do have a face-off.
If you want to come and watch it with us, we do movies in the Discord on Wednesdays. When we can. Real life takes precedence, but we do movies when we can. We're hoping to have a movie done this Wednesday. So come and join us, talk to any of the hosts, get an invite code, and we'll let you into the Discord to watch movies with us. We have community watch parties. And the side chat is absolutely rolling for some of these. I'm just going to throw that out there. For this episode of Masquerade Breach, I'm Blazewing.
I am Catherine Cosplays, otherwise known as Krisha.
Marley.
Oceanus Veritas, also known as Cam.
And remember, don't tell the Camarilla. If you give us enough booze, we'll try just about anything. But we're also not drunk enough for this shit.
Need more alcohol.
See you soon.
Hasta luego.